And now, this world shall know pain.
Nagato is one of the best villains in anime history, and although he had some questionable methods, the guy was freaking right. Let me explain. The Akatsuki are an incredible cast of characters. All rogue ninjas, some of them selfish, some of them philosophical, all of them incredibly powerful. But even among this incredible cast, Pain stands out. He's not a religious extremist. He's not a mercenary like Kakuzu. He's just a guy trying to find peace and justice. Like Naruto, he confronts the curse of hatred that pervades the shinobi world, and he offers his own solution. So, for today's video, I wanted to take a look at that solution and examine its merits, and ultimately give an answer on whether he was right. And to do that, we start with Naruto. And before we get into it, guys, only 3.5% of my viewers are subscribed, so if you like the content, please consider subscribing. It helps out the channel a lot. So, it's pretty clear that Naruto and Pain were meant to be foils. Both Uzumaki, both orphans who joined a team of 3, both students of Jiraiya and possible children of the prophecy. Even their names sound similar, Nagato and Naruto. And so, it's so fitting that of all the villains in Naruto, it is Nagato who impacts him the most. For most of the series, it is Naruto who changes the villains. He makes Zabuza cry on the bridge, he turns Gaara from a serial killer to a Kage. Talk no Jutsu is iconic for a reason. But in this fight, it is Nagato who changes Naruto, and that's really cool. Pain was the leader of the Akatsuki, a group that started out as peace-loving but eventually turned into ISIS, if ISIS were ninjas and also fashionistas. He started the group with his childhood friends Yahiko and Konin, and although it was initially peaceful, it changed radically when Hanzo forced the death of Yahiko. Following Yahiko's death, Nagato changed. He allowed himself to be influenced by Obito, altering his ideology rapidly. Obito had always been lurking in the background, but his influence had been tempered by Yahiko. Once Yahiko fell, Nagato was ripe to be nurtured and manipulated by Obito into what he became, the same way Obito was manipulated by Madara once Rin fell. Nagato slowly turned into Pain and developed a new philosophy. Pain's philosophy was one of forced empathy. His goal was to attack the various villages and force them to confront the truths of their wars and policy, for everyone to know Pain. Upon knowing Pain, they would gain empathy and thereby stop war. Why would Pain think this? After all, war was not something new in the shinobi world. There had been 3 shinobi world wars up until that point, none of which triggered a truly lasting peace. Every single country had faced conflict, and its leaders knew it well. The last Shinobi World War was when Kakashi was a kid, so not that long ago. So why did Pain think this time around would be different? The answer lies in Pain's overwhelming power. Up until this point in the story, Pain is by far the strongest shinobi in the world, the strongest shinobi we'd seen in action thus far. He defeats Jiraiya with little to no effort, he kills Kakashi, and he's soloing the entire village up until Naruto gets there. Pain's goal was to conquer the world and force an era of peace upon them. Not just with his own power, but with the tailed beasts he was collecting. And this is what leads him to Naruto and to this scene right here. Pain's speech when he pins Naruto to the ground is one of the best in anime history. He asks Naruto what his plan is for world peace. Naruto says he's gonna kill him and deliver justice, and Pain reveals that he's doing the exact same thing. The same vengeance that Naruto wants to deliver to Pain is what Pain is delivering to the Leaf Village for killing his parents, and for their part in Yahiko's death. One of the reasons that Pain and later Sasuke are so compelling is that their actions are kind of understandable. The proxy wars turning certain countries into battlegrounds is something very real that happens in our world as well as the one of Naruto. For instance, the Cold War is called cold because the US and the Soviet Union never fought on each other's homeland. Americans and Soviets were scared, but they never saw the horrors of conflict firsthand. Meanwhile, countries like Afghanistan and Vietnam and Korea and Libya and so many others became active battlegrounds where civilians were regularly killed. The United States and the Soviet Union poured money and weapons and troops into those countries, influencing and igniting wars and bloody, violent conflicts. Those countries were all set back decades, their governments and resources gutted because bigger nations cared about their location and ideology, and they really suffered for it. I'm not trying to make a political statement here, it's just history. it's just the truth. So of course it makes sense that a smaller country would feel some resentment. Killing civilians is wrong, but would Pain really have been wrong if he had tried to kill, say, Danzo for his part in Yahiko's death? This argument is a turning point for Naruto's character. Gon is the loudmouth ninja that Itachi describes as the one who runs up to you first with the loudest of yells. Instead, we see a more composed, reflective MC, no doubt driven by the loss of his mentor as well as the revelation that the Leaf Village isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Nagato's goal was to force a shift in attitude following overwhelming pain, and that he does. But it's not the world who changes after experiencing pain, it's Naruto. It is Naruto who defeats Nagato and saves the Leaf Village from destruction. It is Naruto who stops Obito and Madara and Kaguya, and above all, it is Naruto who makes friends wherever he goes and ensures peace, not just through violence, but through friendship. And though Naruto's Talk no Jutsu started well before this meeting, it is his conversation with Nagato that forces him to truly examine the shinobi world. It is following this that he pleads with the Raikage to spare Sasuke. It is only after this conversation that he makes up his mind not to kill Nagato, which immediately results in the revival of everyone Pain killed in the Leaf. Is Rinne Rebirth an ass-pull? Maybe. We did get some foreshadowing with Kisho Tensei, and the Rinnegan itself has some control over death with the Naraka path, so I didn't personally have a problem with it. But I can see how some people might, at least from a Jutsu Magicism perspective. Thematically though, I really like it. The empathy that Naruto displays gives him an immediate reward, and his decision to be merciful translates into Nagato being the same. This simultaneously justifies and refutes Nagato's philosophy. Naruto's pain allows him to understand Nagato and see the cycle of hatred in its entirety. At the same time, there comes a time where inflicting pain isn't enough, and diplomacy and empathy are what's important. Understanding alone cannot lead to peace. Nagato knew pain, and he was by no means a peaceful person. But understanding, combined with compassion and restraint, that might have a shot. Pain was correct about empathy. As long as people are ignorant, war would remain. Forcing people to see the consequences of their own actions is what caused a more lasting peace. In the Fourth Shinobi World War, villages that previously knew peace saw the effects of war. They saw comrades killed at the hands of Madara and Tobi, and they decided on a different path. This is exemplified in Inoki, who saw no problem with using the Akatsuki before they turned on his village. He would have been content to keep his militarization going forever had he not felt the hand of pain. But thanks to some Talk no Jutsu from Gaara, he was able to change. In this way, Pain was right. Without the Fourth War, that aversion to fighting would not have existed. But Pain was incorrect about power. Pain's philosophy here wasn't all that different from Madara and Obito. He wanted to use overwhelming strength to force peace onto everyone. He didn't want to put everyone in a dream, but the underlying philosophy is the same. That it's okay to bully other people into doing what you want. It's okay to flex overwhelming power if your goal is righteous. But power alone was not the answer, and this is symbolized in the final battle of the series, Naruto versus Sasuke. Sasuke was fighting to unite the world against his overwhelming strength, while Naruto was focused on friendship and alliances. Naruto's victory here thematically rejects the idea of peace through power and towards a new future for the shinobi world, one that was bright and hopeful, one that Nagato would have loved to live in, one that Yahiko would have wanted, one of peace. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. I make Avatar and anime content twice a week, and only 3.5% of my viewers are currently subscribed. Let me know in the comments if you think Pain was right and to what extent, or maybe what villain you want to see I analyze next. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and until next time.